Relax. You're listening to America at Night with McGraw-Millhaven.
I did not get my fix last week of Bill Cleveland, Bill on the Road, back by popular demand. BillOnTheRoad.com. Bill Cleveland, welcome back, my friend.
Popular demand? Who's demanding? No, nobody's demanding. Come on now.
I saw Dan Strauss last week, by the way.
Oh yeah. How's Dan doing?
You remember Dan Strauss, don't you?
Of course I do. Yeah, good old radio friend.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Dan Strauss, but that's a whole other issue. All right, where do we find you in this crazy mixed up world?
The great town of Quincy, Illinois, and hopefully at least a few times this summer I'll have a chance to chat with you about some of these great towns up and down the Mississippi River, because I'll be doing some traveling along the Mississippi. But Quincy, Illinois is just one of these great old school river towns. To kind of paint the picture for folks who aren't familiar with the Midwest, obviously you have the Mississippi River, you have St. Louis, and then Quincy is probably about 2 hours up the Mississippi River from the St. Louis area, very close to Hannibal. If you're familiar with Mark Twain, that was his childhood home. He was from Hannibal, and pretty much right across the river is Quincy, Illinois. And I'm going to give you a handful of things you should know about Quincy. But the one thing that really jumps out, McGraw, and I don't know if you've ever had a chance to go there or not, but this place has got, it has to be close to 100 of these just big old, like historic mansions. And when you go to a river town, the last thing truly that you're expecting are a bunch of mansions. And you get down, a few blocks from the river, and sure enough, you're going down, I believe, Main Street, Maine, like spelled like the state, Maine. You're going down this Main Street, and it's just one after another. These huge, beautiful mansions, Victorian style, and I'm not smart enough to know all the different types of, mansions from the early 1900s, late 1800s, whatever. But they're absolutely beautiful. A lot of folks made their money with, railroad and I guess riverboat money and stuff like
barge traffic, and
yeah. And so I've been to Quincy 4 times. The last time I was there, I actually did a story all about these homes. I did a video. Folks can find it on my YouTube page. And some folks were really nice. They just let me into their homes. Can you imagine? Would you let me into your home if I came knocking? I'm guessing not. No.
I barely let you on my radio show.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do then, but they were nice. No, they let me in, did some filming, and a lot of these people took these homes. I call them mansions, and I think most people would. And they, these people are just, they've restored them back to their original beauty. Here's a quote. This is from National Geographic, all right? So 16th and Main, that's an intersection there in Quincy. National Geographic called it one of the 10 most architecturally significant corners in America. Can you imagine? Quincy, Illinois, for God's sakes. But it's really cool. So they'll do home tours. People can go up there throughout the year. And I was making a joke, but truly they're very welcoming, and they're always setting up like home tours. So folks, if you kind of, you don't want to be like what do they call it? A voyeur. Like you want to know what's going on inside the house, like what it really looks like. And they'll set up these tours throughout the year so folks can kind of go around and check those out. Another thing that I found fascinating. So, and I know these are located up and down many rivers around, the United States, but they're close to. They have a lock and dam. Have you ever been to a lock and dam?
I think that a lock and dam is the most fascinating engineering feat you've ever seen.
It is unbelievable. So it's lock and dam number 21 on the Mississippi River. A great bald eagle watching, if that's kind of your thing at certain points of the year. But to me, the most crazy thing, and this is, we call it the mighty Mississippi. I remember I was on this lock and dam, and you're up and you're on an observation tower and you're looking down. And I remember seeing this tree. God only knows where it came from, if it was, fell in or dumped in. Huge, maybe like an oak tree. I mean, it's gigantic. and the Mississippi River was throwing that thing downstream like it was nothing. And I just thought, holy moly, the Mississippi, that's why they call it the mighty Mississippi. It's just crazy. But yeah, the lock and dam's really cool. There's an observation tower. You can do tours and stuff. And then, you know, just a couple other things. So their visitor center, when you come into town, this visitor center, it looks like a castle overlooking the Mississippi River. There's some interesting history there. You can kind of tour that. You know, breweries. They've got a lot of cool local restaurants, small town bakeries. But it's just a really cool little destination. And like I mentioned, you know, the people are real friendly. Like it
All
a
right.
lot.
All right, I have a couple questions before you move on. So wait for the house tour. Don't do what you did and just knock on strangers' doors and ask to see their house.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how are you going to meet people?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, they will do it too, and I think they do one around. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. I think they do one around the holidays too, so people kind of decorate, you know, these beautiful old homes, and so it's cool to walk through. And to be honest, these people are very proud of their homes because most of them have restored them themselves. You know?
Yeah.
So they love showing it off.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Now you mentioned the lock and dams, and you mentioned the eagles. Yeah. Now with the repopulation of the eagles, I mean, they're off the endangered species list, and they're sort of now everywhere. Now that we're further along in their recovery, when you go to a lock and dam, the eagles are smart enough to know that's where the fish get sort of caught up, and the eagles. I mean, it is like you see hundreds of eagles in a lock and dam at times of the year. It's amazing what you can see at a lock and dam when it comes to those eagles.
And it's cheaper to watch the eagles at the lock and dam than it is at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I just like to point that out.
Good to know. Good one.
The Eagles, they're playing.
Yeah, I got it the first time.
Somebody out there got that. No, you're right. They are repopulated, and they are amazing. I wasn't in Quincy, but I was in another small river town not that long ago, and I was taking a photo of a covered bridge and a few photos, and I was using my drone and whatever. And up the river comes a bald eagle, and it had its wings out. And I'm telling you, it really is the most majestic thing you've ever seen up close and in person. They are awesome. I absolutely love bald eagles.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You're not a bird watcher, are you?
I'm not a bird watcher per se, but I did recently buy a bird house with a camera on it. And so when the birds come in, I get to watch the birds with the little one as they're eating from the bird seed that I leave in the birdhouse. So I guess I kind of am a bird watcher.
You know, I got to tell you, I tease you occasionally about being a little bit older than me, but a lot of my travel writer friends who are probably 10 or 15 years old, they've hit the bird watching stage, and all of their stuff now is photos of birds. But I'm telling you, I'm on the cusp because last summer, I was in Florida, and a friend of mine probably has exactly what you have at that little webcam inside of the birdhouse. And I hate to admit it, it really is fascinating to watch them do their thing. I mean, I never thought I'd get to this point, but you know, here we are.
Yeah, no, I mean, my phone dings every time a squirrel goes up there or a bird goes up there. I mean, you see some red birds and some bluebirds and some cardinals. Yeah. It's really kind of fascinating. All right, back to Quincy and the Eagles.
But the other thing I was going to mention, I don't want to forget this. So I found out today, and I'm here for a couple of days because I have a book signing event at the what do they call it? The Historical Society coming up this weekend. And so I'm trying to do a few things. And I found out today that they have a catfish trail. I love catfish. I'm kind of a picky eater. So I don't know why I like catfish, but I do. I love fresh catfish, and I like how everybody kind of has their own little way to season them up and spice them up or whatever. And they have this thing. It's called the Tri-County Catfish Trail. So there's like 50 restaurants all over the region, and you go and you can pick up this like little, I guess like a passport or something like that, and try to visit as many of them as you can. Do you like catfish?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever had catfish.
Really?
I don't think I've ever had it.
That
the
really
whiskers
surprises
the
me.
whiskers look a little weird.
Well, they take those off. You don't have to eat those.
Oh, you don't have to eat the whiskers? Okay.
You don't
That's,
have to eat the whiskers on the catfish. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. They're a little hard to look at before their heads cut off and they're fried. But yeah, I don't particularly care for the whiskers either. Anyway, they got a great catfish trail. You can check that out. Now, one other thing I have to mention. So just north of Quincy, there's a guy. The town is called. I hope I say this correctly. Nauvoo. Navouu. I may have screwed that up, but if once you get to Quincy, you'll know where this is. Nauvoo. It's just north of town. There's a guy who has, I think it's like 10 acres of property, and he has built tree houses that people can come and stay in. And I stayed in one of the tree houses, and it's pretty cool. They're all like different themed. You take a shower outside. I don't know if it's on all of them. The one that I was in, you had the outdoor shower. So who doesn't want to bathe under the stars? It's got that's pretty cool. And but yeah, you're in the great outdoors. It's peaceful. It's quiet, and I just really I like unique lodging. Like I've stayed.
so you're hold on a second. Your shower
Yeah.
is you shower up in the tree outside?
Yeah, so the home, it is a tree house, so it's built into trees. You're up off the ground, and
Right.
then this particular one that I stayed in on the second level. And to be honest, I don't remember if there was another shower inside, but there was outside. And yeah, and there's little fencing, so if a deer walks by, he's not going to see you naked.
Well, that's good. I don't want the deer to see me
yeah,
naked.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
care
don't
about
want
the
that.
other humans. It's the
Yeah.
deer I have a problem with.
Yeah, whatever. And then the shower runs outside. You got the big shower head, and yeah, you're outside. It's cool. You wouldn't do
Uh,
that?
yeah. By the way, doing a little research here, I didn't know this. Quincy, Illinois, was the home of one of the Lincoln Douglas debates.
That's right. That's right. They were one of the sites at the Lincoln. Yeah, what's the other one that's closest to St. Louis? Alton, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
was
Alton
another
was
one.
another one. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that was another, a lot of great history, a lot of great like old movie, not movie, but like performance theaters here in Quincy. I don't know, I love it. I think it's a really cool town, and don't sleep on it if you're doing the Great River Road, traveling up and down the Mississippi. And if you want to find that video, go on my Bill on the Road YouTube page, and you can see me going through strangers' homes in Quincy, Illinois.
You mentioned the Great River Road. I believe USA Today just named the Great River Road the best scenic drive in America for the second year in a row.
I didn't see the article, but that does not surprise me. It's very underrated. There are, I mentioned Quincy a bunch tonight here, but there are a lot of great towns just like it up and down the river, and especially in fall when the leaves start to change color, and it really is beautiful. And it goes all the way, you're going all the way up the river. So yeah, you get to see a lot of the different parts of the country you don't normally get to see, and you can do it by, they have different, what do you call them? Not cruise ships, but those river boats. They do
Yeah.
tours. You can do that, or
Yeah.
you can literally be on the road and stop in some of these little towns along the way. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
the Great River Road goes 10 states from Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana, and it follows the Mississippi River, and you run across these great towns like Quincy
Yeah.
and Hannibal. And you're right, it really is sort of, you really do go back into time, and some of these old towns, they've sort of either revitalized downtown, or some of them have always sort of stayed pretty relevant. But they have nice sort of, factories and manufacturing plants and some other industries, universities that
Yeah.
sort of kept it a nice sort of quaint little small town feel. And Quincy is one of those places. Really
Oh,
cool.
and they added pickleball. They added a new pickleball complex too.
Oh, well.
Quincy.
That's really why you're there. Now look.
That's why I came.
Now look, I don't want to make you freak out or anything, but we're kind of big in Quincy. We have a huge following in Quincy, Illinois.
Really?
Oh yeah, no. So we're beaming into Quincy, Illinois now. So I know on the text line somebody asked when and where is Bill Cleveland's book signing in Quincy. So fans are already clamoring. They want to know when and where your book signing is.
Well, I appreciate that one person that texted in. That's very nice. I will be at the Historical Society Visitors Center at 2 o'clock on Sunday, and that is another cool place to see. It's like a mansion. I believe it's where. I hope I don't get this wrong because you said you got Quincy people listening. I think it's where the guy who founded the town of Quincy, and I think he may have been a governor at one point. That's where he lived. It's a beautiful mansion, and on the backside they have a visitor center that ties in with their historical society. So yeah, Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, I'll be doing presidential road trips there.
All right, cool. All right, good. And then the website is billontheroad.com. They also have a great big bridge over the Mississippi River, do they not, right there, I think?
They do. Yeah. It's a great bridge. And then that area down below the bridge, they got a nice little park and a cool trail. So if you like to ride bikes or you're a runner or whatever, you go up and down the river, see the bluffs. I mean, it's a great part of the country.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. You can stay in a treehouse. You can have a shower and protect yourself from the deer seeing you naked, and go knock on a stranger's house and go see what's going on. Go see what's on the stove for dinner. Bill Clevin, ladies and gentlemen.
I should be working for the tourism office.
There you go. Bill Clevin, ladies and gentlemen, one of a kind. Bill on the road. He's in Quincy, Illinois all weekend. The website, billontheroad.com. Bill, have yourself a good week. We'll check in with you next Thursday.
All right, sounds good. See you.
You got it. Bill Clevin in all of his glory.